I would start by calling out our first speaker on the day. Her name is Ruchi Dana. She is Partners Dana Group, and she is also recognized by Forbes Middle East as the next generation business leader, not just for 1 year, but 3 consecutive years, 2017, 2018, as well as 2019. Isn't that great? She would be speaking on a very important topic in these days: how important it is for women to take control of their health and the health of their families in the times of COVID 19. So, Miss Ruchi Dana, I would like to hand over the mic to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sonali. It's a pleasure being here. I'll just share my screen. I have a small presentation ready for this. I hope you are able to see the screen.
Your presentation.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would start off with saying that the last time we met, it was in Dubai. It was in the normal circumstances, and it was really exciting. It's unfortunate that we are offline now. Like we're just interacting through the screens right now. It's not as human as it was, but I think this is a very challenging time, and I hope everybody is keeping safe. I like to actually look at things in a positive side. So these changes have brought about a lot of good changes in my personal life. So I'll speak a little bit about that. I also realized that women are actually the center of the family. Like I realized slowly that my entire family revolves around me. And like if I'm feeling down, it's like it reflects upon the entire family as well. So I'll speak a little bit about small mind hacks that you can take care of just to like bring up your mood. Also, I wanted to speak about a little bit about goals and how we can achieve anything that we put our mind to. So I'll just start off with the presentation. So this was a recent quote that I came up with. To reach the state of complete wellness from a condition of illness, you just need to replace the I with a V. It's so simple, right? But like it's all about like having this thought inside you. And it's also important that when we look at women, oftentimes like women are like most of the working women, they are very stressed out. Like they don't know, like almost they feel that they are not in control of their lives, but that's not true. You're always in control of your life. It's always dependent on how much discipline you put into your life, and like what are the small changes that you can put into your life. A lot of it actually also depends on the ability to say no, because as successful women we always see so many opportunities coming across, and it's really enticing to like get into new and new things. But oftentimes you have to take a step back and reflect on your goals, your long-term vision, maybe a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and then think whether it fits into the timeline. And if it's something that would align yourself to the goal, it's better to take a yes. Otherwise, it's simple to say no. You can say that, okay, you're busy with a lot of things right now, and you cannot like commit to that activity.
That I did push.
So I'll just start off with saying that you can't pour from an empty cup. It's important to take care of yourself first. Only then you'll be able to take care of your family, your friends, your extended family, and even your work. I want us all to leave this presentation with one thought, that we all pledge to secure our mask first. So this has two hidden aspects to it. This is also a message that like you know the air hostesses, they say this when a flight starts. Like it's important to put on your mask first and then take care of your kid.
I can't hear it.
And take care of children. So it's really important to do that, and it has a sense in the sense like it's important to take care of your own health. And once you are in control of your own health, and you feel like the energy within you, you're much better to take care of your family. Other hidden message in this slide is that it's also important to actually have the COVID masks ready. So even though like a lot of places have secured, like the lockdowns have opened up, and like people are getting out, but the threat of the COVID virus is still around. It's the same as before. So it's really important to take all the necessary precautions, wear the gloves, keep the sanitizer ready, have your mask at all times. Even your kids, it's best to have their masks as well. There are a lot of like beautiful masks that are being developed by women entrepreneurs that can be used as well. Other important thing I would like to point out here is that since we're talking about health, it's really important not to wear the mask while running and while exercising, because that can cause like hypoxia in people, and that's something that I just wanted to put out there. Also, it's important not to have the sanitizer in the car at all times, especially in a very hot area, because sanitizer is basically alcohol, so it has chances of catching fire. So I'll move on to the next slide. So when we talk about health, it also depends a lot on your inner health. There's exercise is one component to it, but like majority of the component of health is actually your diet. And there's also your genetic makeup. So there are actually companies that do like genetic tests, microbiome tests. In fact, I recently got my genetic test done because I had gestational diabetes. I know that I was prone to diabetes, but I really was curious to find out like what else are the predispositions that I have. So that's an important thing, that and it gives you much more control about your own life, and you can take certain decisions in which your life is moving. So like if you have a predisposition to certain diseases like cancer or diabetes, hypertension, obesity, these all things can be like made out from your genetic test. There's also a new concept called microbiome test. So what happens with the microbiome test is it basically tests out the gut bacteria that we have. So there's a lot of research coming out in that topic as well. Like microbiome actually causes almost 70% of the diseases that we see. Almost 30% of the root cause of diseases is actually on the genetic predisposition, and 70% is actually on the microbiome. There's still a lot of research going on, but I personally thought that it was good to put it out there, because as women, it's really important for us to take care of our health and our family's health. So like if we are in a position to actually get these tests done, that's actually very good. There are also new tests coming out in the market which can actually check your susceptibility to various viruses like COVID-19. So if we look at like the patients of COVID-19, there are certain patients that have complications and they have to use the ICU. And there are other patients that can actually recover well within their homes as well. So a lot of it depends on your genetic predisposition, whether you have some certain chronic diseases like lifestyle disorders like diabetes, hypertension, obesity. And I think the lockdown and like the entire COVID-19 crisis, it has made us reflect a lot more on preventive healthcare. Earlier, like the world was looking more at reactive healthcare, like taking care of their long-term diseases and all. But now everybody is trying to prevent these diseases, because now everybody has got to this shock that, okay, diabetics are much more prone to getting the complications of COVID-19. In fact, a couple of weeks back, I was on a panel of all doctors, and all the doctors, it was a global panel, and all the doctors were saying now the patients are much more adherent to their medications, because everybody is now so much more aware of their health. And the other good thing is that because of the lockdowns, you don't have like extra time that's being lost in like traffic and all. So you can actually plan your schedule in a much better way. So you can like put out hours for exercise, put out hours for meditation. You can have a good sleep. You don't have to travel, and there's no like jet lag and all of that to tackle with. So that's actually a good thing. In fact, I've seen a lot of people who are taking advantage of this situation, and like just trying to reverse all the diseases that they had, like obesity, hypertension, and many of these diseases are actually reversible. So it's good. It's almost like a wake up call for all of us, and it's important to take care of our health right now. Only once we are able to take care of our own health, we'll be able to take care of our family's health. So exercise is another thing that's really important, and it's much more easier now. It's in the digital world. You'll find a ton of videos online on YouTube and all. They offer like free exercise videos, so that's really good. Apart from that, it's also like you have much more time on your hands. You're much more in control of your entire life, so you can make up the decisions and exercise, maybe put yoga or some sort of light exercise in your everyday life, because of the lockdown we are not walking as much. We're not much active, so it's really important to have some component of exercise, or almost like 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes a day, maybe 5 times a week. That's more than enough for the normal people. And if you find it interesting, in fact, like I'll tell you a quick story, that every habit just takes 3 weeks to convert into a habit. Like you'll start off with a lot of resistance and it becomes really difficult at times, but it's just like about waking up and putting out those sneakers, and then you're ready. You're ready to do your exercise, and eventually you'll see that it has become like a habit, and you actually miss the exercise if you don't do it anymore. So that's a very good thing. And I would like to point out here is that discipline always trumps motivation. So at times we are motivated to do something, and like we are really like excited about things, but motivation eventually dies off. It's not a constant dopamine rush to the mind. So motivation will definitely die out. Maybe in a week, maybe in 2 weeks, you'll realize, okay, let's just push that task to the next week or something like that. But if you incorporate these things into your discipline, into your schedule, then it becomes much more easier. It's like almost as intuitive as waking up and brushing your teeth. So like if things are incorporated into your schedule, like exercise, or this much time is for meditation, this much is for yoga, or anything like that, maybe 2 hours to spend with your kids, that's also very much important. But if you have it like incorporated into your schedule, then it becomes a much more disciplined life, and you feel that you're much more in control of your life, because your mind is so important, and it has certain tools that can actually affect in terms of like motivations and all. Like the mind is very primitive. You have to train it again and again to actually make it used to the habit of exercise or anything that new that you want to learn. Also, there are not a lot of new lessons online course on healthcare, on coaching, or anything like that. It's really available. Everything's available for free, almost like at a negligible price. So like I can see like a lot of people are taking advantage of this situation, and I think that's the best. It's because self improvement and healthcare, these are the best like personal investments that you could ever make. So let's talk about COVID-19. If we look at like the role of women, they have taken like a lot of huge burden on their own shoulders. If you look at the healthcare workers, the doctors, nurses, I think in China, there was a statistic that said that almost 90% of the frontline health workers are actually women. And like women are multitasking at all times. They're taking care of the families, they're taking care of patients, like in the case of nurses, and they also have to take care of their health. So it's really important to actually have some sort of schedule or some sort of things in place. Maybe you can have a personal board, like some people that you can look up to, and you can just check in with them every month. Okay, this is something that I want to achieve, and everyone just have a wake up call with them. Okay, were you able to achieve this or not? Or maybe have a life coach. And I'm happy to mentor women as well. Like if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to do that, because it actually gives some sort of accountability to your own self, that okay, this is something that I'm putting my mind into. In 1 month I should be able to achieve this much. But oftentimes if we don't say those goals out loud, then like we just forget about it. We just try to push it to the next week, to the next week, because our mind is always very primitive, and it wants to like stay in the same state of comfort, and like not do new things. So it's really important to have some sort of accountability partner. It could be your own spouse as well, or some sort of relatives, friends who can actually maybe spend 1 hour with you in a month, and just to look at the goals and how good you were able to do in terms of achieving them. I'll go to the next slide. So as I was talking about the healthcare workers, there's so much interesting stuff out there that, like, specifically in India, like I'm a doctor myself. Most of my colleagues who are doctors are actually working in the COVID-19 situation. Everybody's like putting their lives to risk, and most of these are actually women. So it's really important to actually acknowledge the kind of efforts that the frontline workers are making. It's a good thing that Dubai recently had the golden visa rule, in which like most of the doctors were given a golden visa that's for 10 years. And this visa was actually initially reserved only for the wealthy investors, but it's good that the government is actually recognizing the healthcare workers. And I'm really proud that most of them are actually women. So that gives me a lot of faith, and because I'm always championing for having more women on board, bringing more diversity to the world culture. So I'm really happy that at least in healthcare, the majority of the people that are out there are women, and it's really commendable. And we should, whenever we meet any frontline health worker, a nurse, a doctor, we should actually like sort of give them some sort of acknowledgement that they're doing their best, because they're risking their entire lives, they're leaving the small kids behind, and working on the front line to take care of the patients and everybody, right? So I would just love to end this keynote here with a thought that, like, we are responsible for our family's life. It all depends on us. We are the epicenter of our entire family. The food that we cook, it's actually taking care of the entire family again. So like, it's up to us. The onus is on us to actually make healthy choices, like look out for the healthy food choices, incorporate some sort of exercise in our lives, because the more happier and healthier we are, and we'll be able to convey the same things in across our environment as well, our family or friends. And like, as women, we are at the center of the kitchen as well. Like, we are the ones who are doing the grocery shopping, the cooking, and also it's really important to make healthy choices, because all of these healthy choices would also eventually help you out to fight COVID-19. Because like, COVID-19 is a crisis in which, like, you can see, like, some people have complications while other people don't. So it all depends on your own inherent immunity, and it's really important to actually like make the right choices in terms of like taking the right precautions in terms of gloves, sanitizer, masks. That's really important. Social distancing is so important. And apart from that, apart from these precautions, it's really important to take care of your health as well, like incorporate more vitamin C in your diet. And if you can, then go for a genetic or a microbiome test to check out like your disposition to certain diseases. It's also very, very important to take care of the elderly, because they are most susceptible to COVID-19. So it's important to take care of them, and like help out the elderly women in any case. Like, if you find somebody in terms of like grocery shopping or anything, it's always good to actually help them out, because you never know like the kind of battles other people are facing right now. So everybody's facing his or her own battle with job losses and the crisis. Somebody else has COVID-19, somebody in their relatives might have it. So like, it's just very important to be kind at this point of time, and be out there and like be ready to help others as well. But the first thing, again, I would like to stress upon is like, it's important to take care of your own health. It's important to take care of your own routine, and it's important to become disciplined, because once you are disciplined, then you don't even need any kind of motivation. It's almost intuitive. Like, it's almost like waking up and brushing up your teeth. So exercise would become like that sort of routine in your life. You'd always make the healthy choices. When you go to grocery shopping, you would skip the pasta and the bread line and instead go for the healthy choices. So these are things that take time, but it only takes around 3 weeks to build up a routine. So that's really important. It's just, I think COVID-19 has become almost like a wake-up call for all of us, and it's good that a lot of people are taking control of their health. It's really important. Thank you so much. I'd love to see if there are any questions here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ruchi, for those insights. I truly appreciate the way you say that during this time you realize that actually, the entire thing revolves around women, because they are so multitasking and they are doing so many things at the same time. Your presentation was really insightful, and from the current situation point of view, and we understand a lot of things, how we can prevent from corona and do proper tests. So that was really wonderful on your part. Audience, if you have any questions for Ms. Ruchi, we have 1 minute. We can take questions. Whatever you want to ask, please mention in the Q&A box.
Thank you so much, Sonali. It was my absolute pleasure. And like, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out at any point of time. I'm available on LinkedIn as well. And I would love to help out any other women who are facing any sort of crisis right now, or any young woman who would love to have a mentor. I'm always championing for this cause. I would love to have even professional women like you like take up a responsibility to mentor at least one other younger woman, because it brings about a lot of change in the entire community, because everybody is looking for role models, and we sort of have become role models, and it's really important. It's important for us to actually take the responsibility and pass it on to the next people who are climbing up the stairs. Thank you so much, Sonali.
Thank you so much for that wonderful thought. We appreciate. Thank you for your valuable time. On behalf of entire MICE Question team, I would like to thank you once again for joining us in this session.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
It's a pleasure.